follow-up Friday. We had somebody kind of toss a topic into the mix here. So let's shift gears. What's the topic?
They said, let's talk about work-life balance for single moms. Everyone needs to take good care of themselves, but how can moms do that if they don't have time? Sometimes it's not as simple as just making time to care for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. And see, this ties to somewhat to the article we discussed about the number of kids to have. I know it doesn't seem that way, but what I'm getting at is the dad who says in the New York Times article that you ought to have 4 or more children. One of the points of that, he says, it forces you to not have your kids do as many things because you can't logistically. And so it forces your kids to not be in as many things, and that gives them more free time. I can't imagine how hard it would be to be a single mom at all. Like, I don't know how many times I think to myself, I don't know if you do this yet, Lauren, but I go, I don't know how a single mom or dad does this.
Yeah, I do. I think about that a lot.
On those days when you can't make it and Eddie just picks it up and takes it and rescues you. Single parents don't have that.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine even the pressures for a single parent of everybody else is in traveling soccer or baseball. Everybody else is taking dance lessons. I can't imagine the pressure of that. And yet, that may be one of the ways that a single mom can have the time she needs is to say, in our family, you can't do activities that you can't ride your bike to. Because I just can't take you. Now, you could, like, time-wise.
Or finding someone on your team to pick you up and take you, having another parent step in.
But even that, I know it sounds crazy because so many people are in traveling sports. I just don't get it. I don't know why it's healthy.
I think it's gotten a little out of hand.
Well, right. So you can't kind of be in it.
Yeah, you have to be all in.
And the expense perspective for a single mom, it's got to be much greater. You know, that expense is a greater portion of her income than if there was 2 breadwinners in the family.
No, I have not experienced being a single parent, so I can't say that I'm missing something here. I don't know whether I am or not. But to me, self-care is so important as a parent. When you haven't gotten self-care, you can turn into an absolute monster.
Oh, yeah.
And not like who you become. And so, boy, I just would say you can't be a part of the competitive race. Get a bike for the kid and say, you can be in activities that you can ride your bike to. Otherwise, I just can't. I'm going to come home from work. And I need to read a book for a few minutes. Or I need to watch a show at night before I go to bed. I can't just be ripping and running all day. What am I getting wrong on this? All of it? Some of it?
No, I think you're right. They have to pick their battles. That's one of the favorite phrases of Dana. And I think this is a wake-up call, or should be a wake-up call for the rest of us in the church to see this is an area of ministry. You know, we'll look at, you know, oh, they're starving in Africa, or, you know, all the different places that there's ministry opportunities, you know, Compassion International or Samaritan's Purse. There's single moms with kids that's an area of ministry right in your backyard, so to speak. You may be the man who can help her cutting the lawn, or maybe your son can go cut her lawn.
I was just thinking of that. I mean, if you live next door to a single mom, what are you doing, like, not mowing her lawn? Just to give her a few minutes.
Yeah. And the women can, you know, either do the girlfriend thing where you take them out with you to Panera or something, have a coffee. Or if you're the older woman, you can be the mentor and stop in and just, you know, chat with her, share a cup of tea, and let her vent her frustrations of life with you. And you can tell her it's going to be okay. You know, I've been there. I know what you're going through. And look, I survived. You will too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the note here. We had somebody write to us about the ideal number of kids article. Do
Do you remember the point of the?
she was saying that they didn't, that she grew up without being able to do a lot of organized activities that kept her busy. So she developed some hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
and the hobbies lasted for her entire life.
Mm.
Whereas, like, the last time I played soccer was, I don't know, like for fun, never in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I've begun to question philosophically the rat race in American culture of organized activities. You started in karate, and now you're going to be in karate every day, every weekday, and every weekend for the rest of your youth, or soccer, or football, or cheerleading, or dance. I just don't. What is the point of that? Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it started like we wanted our kids to be cultured and have all these experiences. I'm not sure.
Like, and this becomes what it's expected to do, is that your kid is doing something, a consistent activity, pick one, and now you're going to be so committed to it that when we used to live in Broadview Heights, my oldest daughter tried to be in cheerleading in middle school. She went to tryouts, and she immediately got in the car afterwards, said, "There's no way I can do this." All these girls have been in cheerleading since they were 3. Couldn't compete. And I just kind of go, they've been doing what?
Yeah.
And so, but this woman said she still paints. She still knits and crochets. Like, I don't know if what we're doing buying into that. And I got sucked into it too. One of my kids plays soccer, and I feel like all I do is take him to soccer practice every day and games and such.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. And we all also live in this altered reality that somehow our kid is going to be, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader or on the Dallas Cowboys. And the reality is, I was talking to my barber in Garrettsville about this. He said, all these parents in Garrettsville, for example, they're convinced that their kid's going to make it to D1. And he's like, we've had one person in the history of Garrettsville make it to the NFL.
And that's impressive.
Yeah. Rare.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, parents that have the hope their kid's going to go pro or something, you're delusional. Your kid's not going to go pro. I mean, and if they were, everyone around you would know that's the case.
Right. You would have scouts already sniffing around.
Maybe they'll go pro. Maybe they'll get a scholarship. No, they won't.
I was literally just watching a video on this where someone said, okay, there are 400 players in the NBA. Think about how many kids love basketball. That's all they do. Their parents are convinced they're going to go to the NBA. No, there are 400 slots in the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and guess what? Odds of your kids getting it, 0.
Very, very close to that.
And so what, again, are we doing? Allowing our kids to even have those weird daydreams. Someday I'm going to be a professional baseball player. No, you're not. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're not. We would know if you would be. Remember, Tiger...
Someone's bringing us fruit baskets, trying to court us, if you're going to be in the NFL or whatever.
Well, even like Tiger Woods, right? He was such an incredible golfer. As a small child, he made it onto The Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
Is your kid making it on the Tonight Show because of their skill in the sport they're in? No. They're not going to make it. So why not have them love sports? Love fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for fun. I don't know. And then because what it does is it ends up hurting their bodies long term, because consistent exercise of the same type over and over and over again will ruin your joints. Basketball's hard on your knees.
Runners too.
Runners too, yeah.
I think we've lost the concept of hobbies for kids and adults.
We really have.
Yeah.
Kids need to have things that are technically not productive but are fun. Same with adults. It doesn't have to make money or do anything quote unquote worthwhile. It just has to be fun and relaxing.
And you can only discover those things, to be honest with you, when you either are regularly trying new things intentionally or where you're bored and you have nothing else to do. This is one of the reasons I love being in a small town, because one of my kids likes athletics. And so she's like, I'm going to try this season. And in a small town, you can make the team if you've never played before.
Yeah.
Because it's small. So she's been just hopping around trying different sports. Love it.
Yeah, me too.
Good for you. But I don't know. I think we're losing something when we're being a part of this rat race. Have you thought about this for your kids? Because Eddie loves baseball.
Yeah, I once asked Eddie do you have, and Eddie also plays piano, and grew up playing piano and has a minor in piano. So I asked, like, have you ever thought of like what you want our kids to do? Like if there's like sports, and he's like, I want them to like tell us. I want them to be able to
That's
see
right.
all these things instead of us just, forcefully putting them in stuff. I want them to see what there is, and then they can tell us what they would like to play. We'll offer it as options, but we're not going to force them into doing anything.
Yeah. I think our job as parents is to help them discover what they love.
Hmm. Maybe it won't be piano or baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
Maybe something
hoped
totally
that
different.
I've wanted one of my kids to really be into music because I couldn't stop doing music. I would sit in the basement of my house, put headphones on, and play along to music for hours until my fingers were hurting.
Yeah.
None of my kids have had that,
Hmm.
and that's fine with me. I mean, I kind of wish that one of them would do
Sure.
it, but they hang out and play with music just for fun sometimes, but they don't get super serious about it. We had a question from a single mom here on the show saying, how do you do work-life balance and take
Yeah.
time for yourself as a single mom?
Hmm.
And we had some comments come in.
Yeah, one said, there is no balance for a single mom. I never had anyone from church or otherwise to step in and pick up or drive my kids on occasion. Literally everything is on me. It's so hard to keep going.
Ugh.
So for me, that's kind of like, hey, church and neighbors and friends, step it up. What are you doing?
I think too, moms, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, yes, people should be offering it, but if you need help, reach out to your community and say, I need this.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, and we also have to get over there's an unwritten cultural norm. And here's what it is. You have to play a game. Lauren, do you need help with mowing your lawn?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, let me know if you do.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Meanwhile, her leg is broken
Silence.
and she needs help.
Really, it should go differently.
Hey, I'm going to mow your lawn today.
Right, you almost have to do that. Or I could say, hey, Lauren, your lawn's getting long. I know you're really busy. You're a single mom, which you're not. We're
Yeah.
doing a scenario. Can I mow your lawn for you? Would that be all right?
That would be really helpful. Thank you, Brian. Thanks
There
for
it is.
thinking of us.
Don't play this no, you don't have to game. But you do have to get forceful. I've got a neighbor who they're
I am mowing your lawn.
and I don't want to get too much in the details to protect my neighbor, but I had to kind of look at her and go, you're in a tough spot right now. I really would like to do this for you. Would it offend you if I mowed your lawn for you?
Yeah.
Because I don't want her to feel bad, because she does feel bad.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'd feel bad too.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what? No, I would not be offended if you mowed my lawn. Like, okay, here, I'm going to do it then. I think sometimes we have to
zoomed
get
on over?
forceful.
Zoomed on over in your little riding mower.
I did, and I was like really impressed with all the
You're
work
riding
my
on the
neighbor's
street.
done on his lawn. It's so smooth. Like mine's all bumpy. I was like, that.
Oh, yeah,
I,
mine's pretty bumpy too.
I got home, I went inside, I go, Sarah, that was a nice mow. That was an
Easy
enjoyable
breezy.
mow.
We did have another comment. As a single mom of 4, I would cherish my commute to and from work, in my case, on the bus. I'd listen to music and read a book. Also, during my lunch break, since I worked in downtown Cleveland, I had a list of hideaway spots, depending on the weather, where I could get away, read my Bible, sketch, or write in a journal. Those snippets of time were lifelines for my sanity back when I was raising my kids.
Yes. Oh, that's so creative.
Just finding those quick little spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, I spent a number of months just mad at my commute. It took a minute for me to go, no,
Yeah.
you can use this.
Yep.
It
I've
turns
done
out,
the same too, yeah.
have you?
Mhm.
Where you are mad about, what was it? Like you had a train ride to Chicago or something and you're mad
Yes.
about it?
Mhm. And then you just like waste your time being mad.
It's
So what did you do
quiet.
with it?
You're by
Yeah.
yourself. It's great if you let it be.
How did you turn it around?
I started listening to podcasts that I enjoyed and that made me laugh or were things that I was interested in. So it felt like I was doing something productive.
Was that when you were texting me about my podcast series? Or on the
Yeah,
train?
probably.
You're on the train, like doing something.
Yeah.
That was so fun. I always look forward to that. And in fact, one day
The
you
weekly
didn't text me.
Yeah, you got
when it
really
came
mad
out.
at me.
I texted something like, so I guess you hated this week's
Yes,
episode?
you did.
You were so encouraging.
And I was
kind.
like, dude, it's 9:30 in the morning. Can you like chill?
Let me
I haven't
listen
listened
to
to
it
it
first.
yet.
Yeah, no, and it turns out my commute is perfect length for a Tim Keller sermon. Like
Yeah.
just the length of them on the podcast.
Wow.
I finish up right when I'm getting on 77. I can listen to a song or two, and here I am. I don't do it every day, but you can kind of recapture the time that God's given you.